Do you have an air fryer and you're feeling a little bit nervous using it? Or do you plan to buy an air fryer and you're just not sure where or how to go about it? In today's video, I'm going to be sharing 12 common mistakes to avoid when buying or using your air fryer. And don't worry, because I have made some of these mistakes, so my loss is your gain. Hi beautiful person watching, welcome to the channel. If you're seeing me for your first time, hi, my name is Benna, and on this channel I share delicious recipes and tips for eating and staying healthy, including using your air fryer to make healthy meals for you and your family. If this sounds like something you're interested in, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join the family, you're so welcome. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing 12 common mistakes to avoid when using your air fryer. The first common mistake to avoid when buying your air fryer is not investing in a good air fryer. Now, I know most of us might be tempted to buy a cheap air fryer because we want to save on some money, but trust me, down the road, that isn't going to serve you well. A good place to start would be to do some research. Personally, before buying this air fryer, I did follow someone on Instagram for a while that uses this air fryer, as well as I did my own personal research. Now, maybe you want to start by reviewing air fryers that have a couple of thousand reviews from other customers, as well as maybe an average star rating of 4 to maybe 4.5. That might be a good place to start. One of the common complaints that we hear about air fryers from other customers is that the non-stick coating starts to come off, or broken handles. Doing your research is going to help you invest your money in something that you're not going to regret down the road. Personally, I do have a cosori. Now, this video is not sponsored. The reason why I settled for this particular air fryer is because of the size. It doesn't take up a ton of counter space. Now, I don't have a big kitchen, as well as it is lightweight and it cooks my food just as well. So there's gonna be reasons why you want to buy a particular air fryer, but really, if you want to settle down for one, make sure you go one size above the one you think you would need. The second mistake to avoid when using your air fryer is not cleaning your air fryer. I know you might sound like, what? Yes, we do clean it, but cleaning your air fryer in between meals might sound like a pain, but it is totally worth it. Now, there are some foods that you just cannot cook them back to back without cleaning your air fryer. For example, you're making bacon. To use that bacon for maybe egg bites, you do need to clean your air fryer before making your egg bites. Why? Because the bacon releases a lot of fat, as you all know. If you don't clean it up, what is going to happen is that your air fryer is going to start releasing smoke. And that is not a good thing to have at all. As well as some foods release a lot of crumbs, like maybe fries or maybe breaded foods. You don't want to leave them in there and cook something else on, because then it starts smells, and that smell is going to transfer from one food to another. So it is a good thing to clean your air fryer even in between meals. My air fryer personally is so easy to clean. It is non-stick, and I just quickly put it in my sink with some soap and water, wash it up, dry it, and put it back to cook the next meal. Now, also, you may want to check for, you can also put your air fryer in the dishwasher. Now, the only thing about it is that it might take up a ton of space in your dishwasher, as well as it might start affecting the non-stick coating on your air fryer. So you may want to be careful when putting it in your dishwasher. Now, also, you want to flip your unit on the other side. Take a look, for instance, at mine. You can see that there are some, it's already started getting dirty right here. This is something that you want to check constantly, because the more it builds up, it's going to be bad for you, hard for you to clean up. So I'm just using this chemical. I do use it to clean my stove. It is abrasive, and I think it's okay because there's no non-stick coating in this area. So I just spray some of that there, and I use my old toothbrush to just brush it a little bit on. It is so important. I am so glad that I caught this right early on, because the more you cook, the more this area is gonna get dirty or build up, and it's going to be more difficult for you to to clean up. So maybe once after every meal, you may want to use a paper towel, just wet it and go right in there and just wipe it out like that, so that it avoids the build up. But do clean your air fryer, also wipe off the exterior parts and just clean it up so that it's easier when you clean your air fryer up. Clean your air fryer as you use it, rather than leaving it to do a deep clean. That deep clean might really have some sticks in there that will be tough for you. Mistake number 3 will be to avoid overcrowding your basket. Now, most air fryers are advertised with fries that are loaded in the basket. If you do load up your basket, you're not going to end up having good results from your food. One, either your food is going to be undercooked or it's going to get soggy. Now, it's better you cook in batches and get the best results rather than overcrowd your basket. And if you do not want to cook in batches, consider buying a bigger air fryer that's going to fit in more food than just what you currently have. Also, pay attention to the dimensions of your basket. A square basket, for example, is going to fit in more food compared to a circular basket. So you want to check on that as well. There are some foods that you can load up, like frozen wings or maybe frozen vegetables, because as those ones cook, they're going to shrink, or because they're going to release more water and shrink. You might load up on those. But things like potatoes, trust me, you don't want to load up on potatoes because you will not achieve the crisp or crunchiness from the food. Mistake number 4 is the oil. Now, you might be doing the oil all wrong. Most air fryers are advertised as a healthy way of cooking, oilless maybe. That doesn't mean that you're not going to need oil. Most foods that you cook are going to need a little bit of oil. Now, I'm going to tell you which oil, when, and how much oil you would need. Now, you might be overdoing the oil. Some foods like breaded fries, for example, just need maybe 1 or 2 sprays of oil to give you that crisp and golden brown color. That's good enough. There are certain foods like bacon, for example, they have a lot of fats, or wings or other types of meats that have a lot of fats. You don't need to put in any oil at all. Some foods like your potatoes, like this potato wedges or my vegetables, I do put in a little bit of oil in there. The oil is also going to enable your spices to hold in either your protein like this chicken or your vegetables. So a good thing to do is to put in the oil and all the spices in a bowl. Just mix them up before you toss them into your air fryer. Now, when it comes down to what kind of oil you use, you want to also pay attention to smoke points. Some oils have a higher smoke points. For example, avocado oil, besides the fact that avocado oil is healthy, it also has a higher smoke point. I do use avocado oil and also olive oil, and I did grab this spray bottle from the dollar store. I just pour in some of the oil there and I use it to spray. You might also buy any other type of bottle, but please do avoid pressurized cooking sprays, because some of them might contain some chemicals in them that are harmful to your health or not good for your food. Plus, they might also affect the non-stick coating in your air fryer. Meanwhile, if you don't have a spray, you might also use a paper towel and just spray some oil on this. Use it and wipe the basket of your air fryer before you put in some foods like your chicken. And mistake number 5 is not rotating or shaking your food. Now, some air fryers do come with a shake reminder, like my air fryer. And so if I have to cook something for 10 minutes, 5 minutes down after cooking, my air fryer is gonna give me 3 beeps reminding me to shake my food. If your air fryer doesn't have that function, the good thing to do will be to set your timer halfway through cooking. So if your food takes 10 minutes, for example, to cook, you want to set it up for the first 5 minutes. And once it goes off, you come, shake your food, and then put it back and set up the time for the next 5 minutes. That's gonna help you get better results from your food. It's gonna help you not burn your food. Each air fryer is different. My brand might be different from your brand, and so a good rule of thumb is to always check your food, rotate your food, make sure your food is cooking up. Mistake number 6 is not giving your air fryer air. Like, what is she talking about? Air fryers do need air to circulate properly and cook your food. Now make sure that you give at least 5 inches between your air fryer and your wall. One, it's going to give the air fryer the maximum amount of air it needs to circulate, as well as it's going to prevent your wall from damaging. Also make sure that you place your air fryer on a surface. For example, I have my cutting board that I'm putting my air fryer on. It's going to prevent my countertop from damaging. I also have this stuff that I just grabbed from the dollar store. Each time I pull my basket out of my air fryer, it's hot. Remember, you don't want to put that directly, place that directly on the countertop. I just put it on this. I rotate my food. I check my food before I put the basket back into the air fryer. Mistake number 7 is cooking fatty foods incorrectly. Fatty foods like bacon or some chickens or some beef, maybe your steak, they do release a lot of oil. And so what I do is I usually put in a little bit of water in my dripping tray before putting it in the air fryer. That way the water is going to absorb the oil that comes out of the food. This is going to help prevent the smoke that comes out of your air fryer while you are cooking. Also, you might throw in 1 or 2 bread slices in your dripping tray. They are going to absorb the oil as it cooks, and it's also going to prevent the smoke from occurring while you are cooking your food. Mistake number 8 is cooking wet foods. Wet foods like potatoes. For example, if you're going to be soaking your potatoes in water before cooking them in your air fryer, make sure that you dry your potatoes properly. Even your meats, like your chicken breast, your chicken, whatever it is that you're cooking that's wet, make sure you use like a paper towel to dry up your meats or any foods before they go in the air fryer. Sure, this is going to give you the best results possible. If you're looking for crispy or crunchy or that golden brown color, make sure you don't put wet foods in your air fryer. Rather, you pat them dry before you go ahead and apply your seasoning. Mistake number 9 is not adapting recipes. The air fryer and your oven is not a one-to-one conversion. Because your air fryer is more compact, it is going to cook your food more faster. So because most foods have directions for cooking in the oven, you want to adapt that recipe to your air fryer. Now the good rule of thumb here will be to start by reducing the temperature and also the timing. If it calls, for example, 20 minutes in the oven, you want to make sure do like maybe start with 10 minutes. Check your food quite often, especially if you're not sure it's your first time cooking it, and also make sure you start with a lower temperature before you start going up. Hopefully soon manufacturers are going to start including air fryer cooking instructions on the foods, but until they do that, make sure to adapt your recipes. Mistake number 10 is not using a digital meat thermometer. Now this is going to help you, especially when you're cooking your meats like your chicken breast, your steak, especially if you don't want to overcook your meat. Personally, I do love my meats and my chickens to be overcooked. But if you know you want to do medium rare, for example, make sure that you invest in a digital meat thermometer. They are not expensive. I've seen one for $20. I personally don't have one. I still have to buy one, but it helps you so much with your meats. Mistake number 11 is not using your air fryer to reheat leftovers. Now say bye-bye to soggy pizza or soggy fries or any other leftovers you may have. Air fryers will reheat your leftovers perfectly. They'll give you that perfect crisp, especially something like your pizza or any leftovers from maybe like your fries. It just gives it a perfect crispy. Mistake number 12 is not using helpful tools. Now, when it comes down to what tools to use in your air fryer, it really depends on maybe your brand, your make, and your brand, your size of your air fryer, and all whatnot. Personally, these are the accessories that I use in my air fryer, mainly for baking or for making these breakfast muffins, these breakfast eggs. or making my cake or my bread. I love it. There are other accessories that you can also buy, maybe if you want to make some kebabs, some chicken kebabs, or you want to separate it and cook two foods at the same time. It really depends on the kind of air fryer you have. And also you may want to use parchment paper at the bottom of it, but if you want to be using parchment paper, maybe you can order from Amazon, the one that has the holes in there. You can also try putting the holes yourself. Like I have my parchment paper. What I do is I have this stuff that I picked up from the dollar store. I just go ahead and put in some holes there. You can also use a foil if you need to, you know, be able to pull your food out of there, like you're doing a salmon or something. You can make your foil as well. But whatever you're putting in your air fryer, just make sure that there is that ability for air to circulate in your air fryer freely. Please do let me know in the comment section if you did find these tips helpful. Also, let me know if you have any other tips or any other mistakes that you've made and you learned from it that I can also learn from. Also, do check out my other air fryer recipes that I shared previously, and let me know which other recipes you would like to see from me, healthy recipes. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like it, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Also, please subscribe to my channel, join the family. You're so welcome. And until I come your way next time with something healthy, delicious, please continue to drink lots of water, be well, be safe. Thank you. Bye.